Afternoon campers. I've been reading, which you'd sort of expect, wouldn't you, being a writer. But it's just really helped throughout lockdown just to have something to sort of take you out of your mind. And I've been going out of my mind like everybody else. So I just thought, going down to the shops, the first thing I did since I've been sheltering is go down to the bookshop and buy some books. That was my treat to myself. And it's interesting because, you know, more so than ever now, I think if you're trying to lose weight and get fitter, trying to have a treat that's not a glass of wine, trying to have a treat that's not a chocolate brownie, trying to have a treat that's not half a white loaf and cheese and crisps, it's quite hard because even though you might be going back to work, you know, you might be a bit sort of nervous of going out and socialising. And often the treats that we used to do, like go to the theatre or the cinema or go to a concert, they're not there anymore. So a book to me is one of the things that you can promise yourself. You do your workout, you do your walk, and then you come home and you say, right, I'm going to have a cup of tea, I'm not going to have the biscuits, I'm going to sit down and give myself 10, 15, 20 minutes, however long, and read a book. Rest does it for me, that's absolutely free. Going outside into the garden, getting a bit of green, even though it's a tiny garden, that works for me. Going for a walk, perhaps a warm shower or an Epsom salts bath. Buying yourself flowers. You don't have to wait for somebody else to buy them. I bought a little batch of these before I even went out the house, rang my local pet and flower shop and said, you know, when you bring the cat food tins, could you just bring me a couple of plants? I don't even know the names of them, just a couple of plants to cheer me up. And for the sake of a couple of quid, it really not just raised my game. I don't like cut flowers because they die too quickly. I like actual plants. So that's lasted me for several weeks. Something really cheap, like for me, bright colours. So either put on your brightest clothes. So these are my holiday clothes. I'm not going on holiday anytime soon that I can imagine. But what I have got is makeup on, even though I'm not going anywhere. Like, you know, you can order online, just something like, I've got glittery nail polish. So even though I'm 62, my 7-year-old within me wants something bright and glittery and pink. I'm just sort of thinking, actually, do you get extra points if you can match your book to your top? For some people it is going to get the hair done, very obviously not me. My roots are, I've gone a bit feral on the hair front, but I sort of get it. If that is safe for you to do, perhaps a haircut. I actually got the clippers and did my husband's the other day. So he was shorn like a baby sheep before he went back to school, back to his bar. So anything that you could think of that's not food, that you're actually treating yourself. So some cost nothing, some cost pennies, some just cost a couple of pounds. If you want a long-term goal, I think it's really useful to have little steps along the way and little rewards along the way. So once you say lose a whole stone, if that's your goal, once you run your first mile, if that's your goal, you might want a bigger treat. So if, for instance, it was this top, and it was a bit more than I wanted to spend like every week, I put that money, I've actually got a piggy bank shaped like a piggy, and I put money in that bank, you know, or these days that we're going cashless, write it down in a book that that's going to be a £5 this week towards the dress, the trousers, the top, the hairdo, you know, whatever it is, if it's a bigger thing. You might want to start saving now for a holiday next year if you can't afford one this year, if you're worried about work. So have a little fund, and unless it's an absolute emergency, use that as your treat fund because you're worth it. And if it's not makeup for you, if it's not any of the things I've suggested, perhaps as I've been yabbering on, there's been a little ping about, oh, what if I bought, I don't know, a colouring book? What if I bought that music that I really like? What if I bought some scent? Whatever it is that floats your boat, treat yourself and reward yourself for each step you take along the way to your goal. And then once you reach the goal itself is fantastic enough that you won't have to treat yourself perhaps, but you can if you want. See you next time.